Welcome back to another episode of the Carousel of Conversations. You'll notice I'm the only host this week. Jesslyn is not able to make it this week, and Noah, oh, this makes me feel old, doesn't know anything about the topic that we're going to be discussing today, because we're going to be discussing Disney Channel, and he's like, I just don't know anything about Disney Channel, and that makes me feel so old.
I feel like we lived on Disney Channel. Like, was
I
there
know.
anything else that we watched? I don't understand. What do kids watch nowadays?
I know. They watch
Ugh,
Disney Plus.
so sad. So sad.
But tonight we're going to be talking about Disney Channel night at Disneyland. And so we had to bring on our Disneyland fan and expert, Carissa, to talk about her experience with Disney Channel night. And man, when Noah told me, I was like, Noah, I think this would be a fun topic to talk about. He's like, yeah, I don't know about Disney Channel, or like I feel like we grew up on like High School Musical and Camp Rock
I
and
remember those
everything Disney Channel.
countdowns. Like, do you remember those
Yes.
countdowns for the new movies or the new
Yep.
shows? And we would see commercials for like the next 12 years of our lives. We're like, oh, only 4 more weeks, only 3 more days, only whatever. Like, we
Yeah.
lived on Disney Channel every Saturday
Yeah.
throughout the week. Like, yeah, it was awesome.
Man, I mean, I remember before we even had access to Disney Channel, and we could just get like the morning cartoons or Saturday cartoons. And then when Disney Channel and Nickelodeon came out, it was like life-changing to us on cable, because then we had shows that were just, or channels that were just specifically for us. It wasn't we were sharing PBS for part of the day with, like we'd watch Arthur until 1 o'clock and then go to some weird like educational show that we didn't care about after that. So
Yeah, I'm just gonna date myself more. Like the fact that we could what is it, TVO? Is that what it was called? The new
yeah,
movies that were coming out,
DVR,
or
yeah.
yeah, like anything, because
TiVo.
we were, yeah, TiVo. Yeah. We were like, oh my gosh, there's a new movie or a new show coming out. Parents won't allow me to stay up till 10 p.m., so I gotta record it. Like, yeah.
Yup.
But I mean, we did. We lived on Disney Channel. And so I actually, funny story, went with some friends to Disney Channel night, and we had a big discussion on like half of us only watched some shows and half of us only watched the other shows, and so we were like divided. Like some people were like all for like this one show and they really wanted to go see that character or go stand in that meet and greet line, and then other people were like, I have no idea what that is. Was that a show? And I was like, there was so many different options. We all watched
Yeah.
something a little bit different, and depending on what generation we were from. So yeah, there was some cool meet and greets, some cool options there for all generations.
I feel like, though, that we watched even past our generation a little bit, because our mom used to run a daycare in the house. So, like, even though Disney Channel was becoming unpopular for us, like in high school and even in middle school, and we were just kind of like, should have been too old or too cool for some of those things, we were still watching it because, number one, we had a little brother who was so into it still and was still of that age. And then two, our mom ran a daycare. And so a lot of times we would still watch all the shows with the kids. And, us being the Disney nerds that we are, we would get hooked every time, and
For
we would
sure.
get into them every time. And so
Yeah.
we ended up still watching even beyond. Like, I should not have watched High School Musical. I was too old by the time it came out, but I watched all 3 of them.
All 3. Yeah. I will say, like, there were some like things there. Okay, one of them was there was a gargoyles. It wasn't like a
Oh,
meet
I
and greet.
remember
Yeah,
Gargoyles.
I didn't remember that, but some of the friends that we were with, they were like,
Oh,
"Oh yeah, gargoyles! Like we loved
yeah.
gargoyles," and I was like, okay, like it just depends on where you were born. But I think they did a good job with that, because the parade that they do, there was actually one of the newer shows, which is zombies. And I didn't know anything about zombies or
Yeah.
where it was like the music from it. I was like, what is this? But my friend who has kids and has like young boys that are in that age range now, they actually she was like, "Oh, this is zombies," and she knew every single song because her kids loved it. So I think it was cool to see like the different generations kind of come together, and we were
Yeah.
all new a little bit something different, but we could also just like have fun with it, right?
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit.
Yeah.
What was your favorite Disney Channel show or movie that you watched?
100% Lizzie McGuire. And I actually dressed as Lizzie McGuire this year. Me and my
Yeah.
friend did an Isabella and Lizzie bound, and it was so fun. I wore green because I have the darker hair. She's got some lighter hair, so she wore the Lizzie bound. We both had the mics from the Lizzie McGuire movie. I think I rewatched that movie hundreds of times. And so we had such a blast bounding as that. But yeah, I would say that and Cheetah Girls. Those were probably I could probably sing every word of the Cheetah Girls, like, movie, so
Yeah. Yeah. I loved Sweet Life. I think
Yep.
that was probably one of my favorites. I also really liked, and I know this was outside of my generation, but I like Wizards of Waverly Place. I
Yeah,
thought that one was
and
good.
they brought that
Kim
back.
Possible, Kim Possible was always like I could still sing that original song. Do you?
Yes, 100%, like, call me between if you wanna yeah, no, 100%, like
Yeah.
okay,
Oh.
so I haven't got into that much yet, but I did meet someone famous, if you wanna
Oh,
chat
no, no, no,
about
you gotta
that.
you gotta hold off because we have
Okay,
a part
alright,
we have a
alright.
section for that. But yeah, we grew up on Disney Channel. Now is this your only after, like, hours event, or have you attended other after hours events at Disneyland?
So this is my second Disney Channel night actually. So I went to the very first one was 2 years ago, and then,
Okay.
I learned a lot of what not to do, and
Yeah.
then this is my second time attending this event, so I think they're gonna keep with the trend of it doing it every 2 years, which I really hope so, and then I've also been to the Halloween ones. They have
Okay.
ours is called Oogie Boogie Bash, and it's very similar to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I've actually been to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party as well at Walt Disney World. Um,
Okay.
I unfortunately haven't been able to make it. They are just pricey, and that's just unfortunately, you have to pay for that plus park ticket, so I haven't been to quite as many as I'd like. My dream is to go to Star Wars Night next. I think that one would be
Oh,
really cool,
yes.
and I was there sorry to get off topic for a little bit, but I was there on one of the days that they were doing Star Wars Night, so I saw people coming in for it.
Yeah.
I have never seen such cool costumes in my life. Like, people go all out bounding. I mean, they
Yeah.
did some for Disney Channel night as well. There was some really, really cool, well thought out costumes. But yeah, this and the Halloween one are the only two that I've actually attended at Disneyland.
I saw Dan Povenmire there, which you probably don't know who Dan Povenmire is. Maybe you do.
I
He is
don't.
from Phineas and Ferb. He's the voice of Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb. And he
Yeah.
was there at Star Wars night, I think, and he was also there at Disney Channel night. And so it's pretty cool to see like the voices of these people that most people don't know about, but like he's running through Disneyland and it's like this is so cool. All right, but before we get into all that, like I really want to try and keep this in an order, so I'm
Yeah.
trying not to
Yeah.
get ahead of our conversation. All right, so talk to me about the initial ticket buying experience, because I know sometimes with like Halloween party, everybody wants to be there on Halloween night, and so those ones will sell out as soon as they become available, but others will just like kind of trickle in. So is it really hard because this is like a only a specific night? Is it really hard to get tickets for Disney Channel night? What is that experience like?
Great question. I feel like this one wasn't as difficult. I, of course, always err on the side of caution. You never know how popular an event's going to be. You just don't. So I always
Yeah.
err on the side of caution. If there's an event coming out, just have whenever they announce tickets are going to drop on this date, just have that money ready if you plan on
Yeah.
going. Be ready, be on right when the tickets drop, to try to get the tickets. So that's what I did, and I had no issues. In fact, our event didn't sell out, which was surprising to me. That's the first event that hasn't sold out, I believe, in a very long time. I don't know if it's just because they keep opening up and make it bigger and bigger, but ours wasn't a sold
Yeah.
out event, which is kind of cool. I think the trend always is, and this is my opinion, I think influencers always want to be the first ones to tell you about the event. So,
Yeah.
in my opinion, don't go to the first one, don't go to the last one, or like the main day. So, like if it's on Halloween,
Yeah.
don't go that day and don't go on the first day because the first one is ridiculously filled with influencers recording
Yeah.
everything, filling up the long lines and just making it a little bit more difficult to do things. So, I like somewhere in that sweet spot. I know so we went, there was 3 nights for Disney Channel night. The first one sold out, the middle one, which I went to, did not sell out, and the last one sold out because I think the last one was actually on Friday, which made it a little bit easier for local
Right.
Californians and stuff like that. I think ours was on like a Tuesday. So I personally try to go for the ones that aren't on a weekend, and I try to get the tickets right away.
See, that's a huge difference between Disneyland and Disney World is Disneyland is primarily pretty easygoing compared to Disney World, where it's just like you have to go, go, go all the time. With Disneyland, in my experience in the past, it's been more the annual pass holder park, which means like on the weekends and in the evenings, it's going to be super crowded. But during the day, during a school year, it's not going to be as crowded because it's more popular with the locals essentially. And so, yeah, I feel like Disneyland is a little different in how it handles those things compared to Disney World, where Disney World is just they say they're slow seasons, but their slow seasons really are like Disneyland's like it doesn't compare like slow seasons wise to what you've got going on. So yeah, with Disney World tickets, they do sell pretty fast. Even the Halloween party nights, sometimes you have to be really careful. So that's why I was curious like how it works, but I definitely agree. The first night don't go. Like it's just not worth it. You're going to get 100 cameras in your face. You're not going to enjoy it unless you're like a travel agent or a social media influencer. Don't try and go on those nights. Go in the middle of the events, because those are going to be way better, in waiting. But definitely try to get your as soon as you can get your hotel booked, get your tickets booked. And is it the same with Disney World as it is with Disneyland, where if you have a hotel booked, you can get the tickets a little bit earlier? Or I know Disneyland is a little different when how it comes to Good Neighbor hotels and all that. So that's what I was curious about.
Yeah, they actually do it based off of the earlier you can get the tickets is actually based off of your Magic Key, so your annual pass.
Mhm.
So if you have the highest tier of Magic Key, you get first access. Then the next access is actually all the rest of the Magic Keys. So only if you have the higher tier do you get first access, all the rest of the Magic Keys, and then the general public. No hotels,
Oh,
unfortunately, but I think people would probably prefer it that way just because the hotels are pricey. There's only
yeah.
3 of them, and there's very few of us that actually stay at those Disney hotels. Just they have
Yeah.
hundreds of Good Neighbor hotels that are close and cheaper. We did splurge on this one. We did stay at the Grand Californian, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite hotels. But yeah, I kind of do appreciate that they don't do the hotels because that would probably, price some people out. But they do it based off of your Magic Keys because, like you said, people are a lot of locals it's a lot
Yeah.
of locals that love Disney, and some people do travel in for these events, but there's a good amount of people that just can't afford to travel in, so you would see a lot of locals, but also the locals go all out. They love Disney, they love being there, so it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, on that side of the world, it seems like it's more the true fans. And I don't mean to say that Disney World doesn't have true fans, but like you're talking the people that grew up going to Disneyland and like have been going since they were, young kids and now
For
watch the
sure.
park from its inception basically in some cases. So, yeah, it's a little bit different, for sure. All right, let's talk about planning and strategy. So you had been before, but did you do any research, or was it just based on your experience? If you did research, what sort of things were helpful in you as you were looking at all of this?
So, actually, one of the things that I learned is don't go on the first night because we found it to be so fun to look for the TikToks, the social media posts to see what other people are doing, what other people are prioritizing, what the long lines are. Like, I'm not joking. You can pretty much find everything you need to know about it if you don't go on the first night. So actually,
Yeah.
so we didn't go on the first night. Me and my best friend were sitting there. We were on our way to our hotel in the car, and we were looking at all the TikToks, all the videos of exactly what kind of merch were they selling. How do we prepare to get? What's the best way to strategize getting the merch? What lines are going to be long? So literally, that was our research is social media. We were just looking it up, and we found out everything we wanted to know. Like people were talking about the food, people were talking about what how to get in the merch lines, and we're like, okay, cool. And we had a strategy going into it because of the social media posts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good to hear because, like, a lot of people, they do give out all that's the influencers. They want to give out all the tips and tricks because they want you to watch their content. And so being able to kind of like stay back and learn, it was kind of the same. We accidentally came on Starlight preview night and nobody knew it was going to be preview night, which was nice because the opening night was the day after and we were getting ready to leave and we weren't going to be able to come back. So the first night Starlight came out, we were in the parks the day before it was supposed to open and they did a like soft preview or whatever you want to call that. And so all of a sudden over the speakers like 2 hours before it was supposed to start, they were like, hey, we're going to be doing a preview of Disney's Starlight Parade. But because the influences didn't know that, we got like a full blown preview of Starlight the day before all the influencers got there and ruined it for us, which was amazing to be able to see the whole parade for the first, it was like the second preview night, but for the first time ever, and be able to do that without anybody in our face. And so I don't hate on the influencers because that's all I watch when I'm not at Disney.
Yeah,
So
100%.
I love it, but at the same time, I do get that they can be a little bit annoying sometimes
Yeah.
too, and that's talking about somebody who's making a podcast about Disney, so I can't say too much, but,
Yeah.
uh,
I think if you go to the park on any regular day, you don't even notice the influencers. Not
yeah,
really. It's not like a normal thing, but they do. If there's something new coming out, they are typically the first ones. They're lining up for the parades 5 hours beforehand to get a good camera spot. And so just maybe don't go on the first day of anything. And besides, it's good because Disney works out those kinks, right? Like they figure out there might be something that oh, this character gets stuck on the tracks in the parade and like let's change that or whatever, which is why they do preview nights. But it is cool.
yeah,
It is cool just to have that extra special magic, a little
yeah.
special magic sprinkled on your trip where you get to do something or see something that you didn't expect for sure.
Yeah, my next trip to Disney World is gonna be, like, the week after everything opens, so I'm hoping that it's not too crowded, that they've gotten it all out of their systems, but it's also gonna be, like I mean, you gotta consider Muppets overlay for Rock and Roller Coaster. Buzz just opened just a little bit ago, so that's gonna be new, the refurb on Buzz. The refurb on Big Thunder Mountain, you've got the new Bluey character meet and greet. They're swapping Olaf for a Stitch character meet and greet, that I believe is going to be Visa card holder only meet and greet from what I'm hearing. And so there's just like a million things going on the week after we're arriving. And so I'm like really hoping that the crowds aren't going to be too crazy because
That's where you
it's
just gotta kill it on your lightning lanes. That's
yeah.
important. Know what you're
Yeah.
doing on your lightning lanes
Yeah.
so you can get what you want. And I will say, I've seen the lines. People are beelining for those things because they're
Right.
newer. And so if you beeline away from that at rope drop, you're gonna get on a lot more rides, which is also
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. For sure. All right. So talk about the actual arrival of the event for Disney Channel night. So what was that like for you and what sort of tips can you give and kind of what are your first impressions like when you walk in? What did that feel like?
Okay, so I did this differently because of my experience last year. So my experience last year, I didn't buy a ticket for that day. I came in, so you can always arrive a few hours, 4 hours actually, before the party starts. So we were able to get in the door at 6 p.m. and the party doesn't actually start till 9. A little confusing on this. They started kicking everyone out of the parks at 8. Everyone had to be, that was like the end of the park day closing, but our party
Mhm.
didn't start at 8. I didn't realize that. I thought things would open up like meet and greets, ops, like photo backdrops. I thought that would open at 8. It didn't. None of that opened till 9, but they technically started closing everything at 8, which was really cool. But when we're getting in the parks, last year I did this. I went in with everyone else. I waited outside. I lined up like 30 minutes early. There was already a line. I did this last year. And when we got in, the lines they were already lining up for meet and greets, and there was already super long lines for merch. And so I did that a little bit differently this year. I actually brought a park ticket, and all the friends that we went with, they didn't. So it was just me and my husband. We bought a park ticket for that day. We went in that morning and we just enjoyed a quiet, slow morning. We literally like went on like 3 rides. We got some merch. We just some random like shopping, and we just had fun with it. Took it very easy because we knew we had a very, very, very late night. And so that's just how we did our schedule. But then we went back, we rested, we got dressed, we got ready for the party, and then we went into Disney Channel night. So we arrived at 4 p.m. Again, not able to get in unless they had a park ticket, an annual pass,
Mhm.
something like that. We're not able to get in till 6. We discovered from watching YouTube videos at 4 o'clock, you can actually go get your wristbands. They don't care. They'll let you do it. So at 4 o'clock, we went in beeline. We got our Disney Channel night wristband, and we got these cool. I'm sorry, I don't have mine because my kids stole it and broke it. But we got these cool light up wands that were battery operated. I mean, they were cheap, but they were really cool to have everyone have
Yeah.
the night. And so we went and got that with our little map and our wristbands. We got that at 4 o'clock, and we just beelined it over to the merch line. I'm not kidding you when I tell you the merch line had already filled up. We were like one of the last people to enter the building, and this building was just snaked back and forth, probably about 9 different times, maybe more,
Mm.
with people already lined up for merch at 4 o'clock. Merch does not open till 6. And I'm so glad we did, because my friend, she was not able to get in till 6 o'clock. She waited. She did say that she got there an hour early. She just wanted to make sure she was like one of the first ones through the gate. She got there at 5 o'clock and she was one of the first people in line, but she said there was still definitely a line already to get in the gate at 6. And yeah, and when she got over to the merch line, they had an estimated wait time. They had like a little sign, and they had snaked it outside over all these different paths. And they said merch line, an hour and 45-minute wait if
Ooh.
she would have waited to join the line.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's terrible.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
I guess it's all what you want, right? Because I technically waited about that. I waited about 2
yeah,
hours to get my merch, but by the time the party started, I got my merch in about maybe 10 minutes, maybe, and
yeah.
I was able to go enjoy the rest of the evening. So I would say my number one piece of advice for this is, if you are able to, get a park day ticket for that day if you're wanting merch, because the merch is a little bit more exclusive for these smaller events. If they're not having 20 Halloween nights, they only have 3 nights. They don't know how much merch they're going to sell. So the amount of merch that they have is less, and they cap it. They didn't let everyone, like, they only have so many pairs of ears per night, and it's not enough for everyone. So if you want something from the merch lines, try to get in line a little bit. But it was great. My husband came with me, and so I was standing in line. We took turns going to the bathroom. We took turns going to get snacks. He went and got a churro at one point. I went and got popcorn and a pretzel. We just kept coming. They let us come
Yeah.
in and out. They didn't care. So we were chilling. We literally sat on the floor, and we didn't care that the 2 hours, we were just enjoying our Mickey snacks and having conversations between the two of us. And this was a kid-free trip at all for us. And if you know anything about parenthood, 2 hours just to talk, Yeah, we don't get that very often, so we were good with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that that's the same with Disney World parties too. With our experiences, we kind of got in early. We got in line for the merch, and then we got our merch before the party even opened up. And so for us, after we got in and we got all of our merch, we were able to go sit down and have dinner and watch all these people file in before the party began because it was a little different at Disney World. And then we went the only thing we couldn't get in the Emporium for us was the popcorn buckets that we wanted. And those lines weren't as long because they had them scattered throughout the parks where you could buy them in different locations. But like the shirts and the ornaments and the exclusive pins and all that was only available, excuse me, in the Emporium. And so for us, getting there early, getting our dinner, going and grabbing the merch, and then that way we could enjoy the party for what it was with the character meet and greets and everything else because we had already knocked out that and we weren't wasting, it felt like, our party time for something like that.
Yeah, yeah, and that was the same. We ate a late full lunch. I think we had, like, a really full lunch. I wanna say it was at, like, 2:30, we had scheduled a reservation, and so we were like we ate a huge lunch, it was a buffet, so we ate our weights full, and then we were able to go in, we were able to focus on merch, and then we just scheduled, like, our snacks, because you can mobile order your snacks for the evening. You can actually start doing that way before the party even starts.
Oh,
They
nice.
let us mobile order for our snacks, I think starting at, like, 10 a.m. And so we literally were just like going through, we figured out what we wanted again at our break time at our hotel that afternoon. And we started placing an order for our snacks and we just had them spread out throughout the night. We had one at 9:30, one at 10:30, one at 11:30, and then one at like 1 a.m. when we were leaving the parks, which was a very long night. But we just spread out our snacks so we could get it sporadically. So we didn't technically eat like dinner, but we had plenty of snacks to keep us happy.
So in the Halloween party, which is the only thing I have to compare this to,
Yeah.
when you go to get your wristband and your map and your little candy bag or whatever, they usually have like villains out or like special character meet and greets in the back. And then they also have like music playing that's exclusive to Halloween or villains. What was the entrance way only like for that event? Did they have anything special like Disney Channel music playing in the background or during in the park during the event? Did they have that sort of stuff going on as well?
Yeah, so the first event they did, we have something called the Starcader, which is like it's a big essentially empty room next to Space Mountain. And last time that's where they had you get your wristband and your wand and stuff. And then that was like had a bunch of cool stuff in there. They didn't do that this year, I think just to spread out the crowds. They had you get your wristband actually over like by Star Wars Land. There really wasn't anything there. Unfortunately, it was just like walk through this little area, grab your wristband, grab your wand, ask any questions if you want. The cool part was actually so when you got to Star Trader to go get your merch, or you could just walk through and see this little area if you wanted. They had a bunch of like memorabilia set up. There was costumes used on the set of High School Musical. There was costumes from Hannah Montana, her guitar that she used. It was like just like a whole like high school musical and different there was like I think there was 4 different memorabilia things set up and you could walk through video it. It kind of looked like a little red carpet. It was super cute design. And in that room they were just blasting the Disney Channel night, all
Right.
different kinds of songs. I mean seriously for that 2 hours I was sitting there jamming out the whole time I was singing and everyone around us was singing too. It was so fun. Like we did not
That's
feel like it
awesome.
was even 2 hours because we were all just like there would be a song that everyone knew, and I swear they turned it up because all of a sudden we all just started like singing and dancing, and
That's why
there
they
was a lot
turned
of
it up
people.
so they could
Yeah,
drown out your singing.
probably, probably, yeah. But I will say once that 8 o'clock hit, you know, all that
Yeah.
little, like, cute little Disney, piano-ish music that you hear throughout the parks, no, gone. It's all Disney Channel night music. And
Right.
it's from all of the songs. There was even songs where like, "How do you know this one? I have never heard this one before." And then it was like, "Oh, I know this one." Like, so yeah, it just
Yeah.
literally it'd be random spots. People would be like singing throughout like the park. We would just be like walking down over to different areas and people would just be like, "I love this song." And they would start singing and that was really cool.
Alright, so what kind of exclusive sort of entertainment did they have for this event? Like, did I know they had, like, the High School Musical and Zombies pep rally, and so some of those things that you got to experience, what were those like?
Okay, I will say the most popular and probably the biggest was they actually created I'll show it here for those that can see it. But you know, like when you do Disney Channel, like they have like the little they take the little wands and they go bum 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 bum, right? You're watching Disney Channel. So they
Yeah.
actually had that where they had like a big one. Like there was actually I think 3 this year where like they were standing up and they lit up and they gave you the wand and you could actually go and do it yourself so it looked like you were doing you're watching Disney Channel. So they
That's
had that
cool.
set up. That was probably the most popular like entertainment thing. That thing people lined up for 3 hours before it started. 3 hours, but they had to wait till it was dark to let people do it cuz otherwise you couldn't see the lights. I
Right.
was like, I did not. We pretended. We like went over and we stood in front of the rope before it started and did it, and then just like turned around. And we're like, cool, and we're like, that's the same because I'm not waiting in that 3 hour line.
Yeah.
But
I don't blame
that
you.
was very 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 popular. So cool. Then they
Yeah.
had the parade. So the parade was a High School Musical Zombies mashup, and that was really cool. I feel like it was kind of bridging nostalgia and a little bit more current, Disney Channel, which is cool. The the thing people don't realize that I realized after doing it the first year, and probably one of my biggest pieces of advice, is there are different stopping points for this parade. So they don't just continually walk down whatever the area is that they're walking down and keep going. They will stop at like I don't even know, every like 200 feet, and they will stop and they will do like their whole performance of like, they have like 4 different dances that they do, a couple different songs, and it is cool. The outfits are cool. So we figured this out from last time. So I specifically went up to a cast member. I said, "Hey, can you tell me where they're gonna stop on this parade route?" And I was on Main Street, and she's like, "Yeah, they're gonna stop between this flag and that flag." So we got a seat right in the middle, and it was perfect. I mean, we were right
That's
in the
cool.
midst of it. It was a blast to see the. It was so cool because the dancers would actually come up and like interact with you just a little bit, not a ton, but they'd be like, "All right, you guys ready to sing? Like, let's hear you." And they'd be like, "What time is it?" And then they point to you. And it was just like, it was cool. It was really
That's
cool to
awesome.
see them do that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I heard there's like, even, I saw some influencers that they were posting like karaoke things where you could go and sing along with specific songs too, so I thought that was cool, like, they had a lot of
yeah.
different things like that.
They also had a heavy influence on zombies. They had a Descendants, like, over Pirates of the Caribbean, how there's like a bridge, or at least ours there is. Over Pirates of the
Mhm.
Caribbean, there's a bridge you can walk on. Well, they shut that bridge down and they just turn on all these, like, they shut off all the lights in that area and they turn on like all these like strobe lights and these like glowing lights and stuff. And they had like a whole, like, everyone just gathered around at the bottom and we could just see the bridge, which is really cool. And they just started, it would just randomly, I think it was on the map, like as listed as entertainment, but you could just come up and watch it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So you could just come up and watch it, which is really cool. And that was awesome because it was like hardcore, like rock music almost. And like we all had our wands and we were just like raising them up in the air. It kind of felt like a little mini rave. It was really neat.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that it's neat, like, Disney does those sorts of things when it comes to, like, even events, like, with the Halloween party where they had the hitchhiking ghost walking around, and they had, different singing moments where, like, these little bands would pop up in the windows, or the, Dapper Dans, I think they had a special nickname, and I'm drawing a blank on it now, but, like,
Yeah,
where
they were,
they
like,
had those
creepy
running
almost,
around.
but they were cool.
Yeah, yeah. So it's cool how they add in those elements to make it feel like it's an immersive event. Even though you're in a Disney park, it feels so different from any event that you've been to. It's not a traditional, like, you're just going into the park and you're seeing a special parade, but, like, the whole thing feels like it's been taken over by that event, and everything is exclusive to that event, and it's so
Yes.
special and cool.
Yeah.
Um, alright, meet and greets or character experiences, any people that you met, anything like that, what was that like?
Yeah, so they had quite a few, there was a couple that were really popular. Mickey and Minnie were in their High School Musical,
Oh,
outfits,
that's
and
cool.
that was cool. I did do it that the first event that I went to, they teased it online, and I was like, "I gotta do that. That is so cool." I regret that, and not because I regretted that, but it was they for these type of events, they don't obviously do it very often, right? So because of that, they only have probably I'm gonna spoil the fun, these are costumes, guys. They only have one set of costumes, and those characters need breaks. So they would come out for 30 minutes, they would leave for 30 minutes, and then they'd come out for
Mm,
30 minutes. We did not realize that. So, like, if you're standing out line for an hour, they're only out for half the hour, and they are only gonna get through maybe 40, 50 people in that half an hour because people are wanting to take, like, full photo sessions, which don't be that person, okay? But it was very, very, very long line. So I personally, even this year, that was a very popular one. Again, I opted out of that. I saw them. I waited as they were leaving, and I waved to them, got a quick video, and I gave them a high five. I did not need a picture to last, like
yeah.
to stand. It's not worth. It's not worth wasting your party time. Don't spend 2 hours in any line because you are going to miss the rest of the party. That's just my personal opinion.
I would
Um,
say that we did that too with our party. We took a exclusive meet and greet with, like, Mickey, Minnie, or it was like Minnie, Goofy, Donald, and Daisy, and we waited 2 hours in line, and with that, we missed the fireworks show for, the Halloween party, which is something we really wanted to do, but we were so close to the front, and we had waited for so long, and that was part of what we wanted to do, was get those exclusive meet and greets that we wouldn't get any other time. We didn't feel like we regret it, but, like, that's part of the fun is going for us, is going and getting those picture opportunities, but for 2 adults, if it were just me and Jesselyn, I definitely would not do that, but with my kid, I would definitely do it, like, it's more
yeah.
special for them.
I think they
Uh,
plan it knowing, "Hey, we've got 10 big of things. They're not gonna be able to do all 10, so they're gonna come back." That's just realistic. The Disney
yeah,
knows they plan enough. I'm gonna say this loud and clear. I've been to a couple different of these events. You will not be able to do everything. No matter how hard you
yeah.
plan, no matter how hard you try, there are too many things, and you will not be able to do everything. So just understand that and know that. And like you said, pick what's your favorite and stick to that. We specifically knew there's a lot. So for us, there was so many different cool photo ops. It didn't have a character there, which is better because we didn't have to wait. It was just a constant moving line. You took, and then they allowed you 3 pictures at each photo op. So people couldn't go crazy, which was kind of nice as well. And there was, I mean, from everything, there was a Cheetah Girls, there was Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, there was, let me see, there was a gargoyles. There was all pretty much every like really I think there was about 25 of them. And again, it's just like a really cool photo op. And it has like Lizzie McGuire's has like you sitting down, you look like you're in a TV, and then it has like the little Lizzie, actual like her little character was like right here, and you could pretend like you were looking at her, and it was cute. So, but it wasn't anything drastic or crazy, but it just allowed the lines to keep moving. We thought those were cooler than the characters, to be honest. And so we just did as many of
Yeah,
those as we could. Like that was our thing. We'd go do like 4 of them, and then we'd go ride a random ride because the rides were like 5-minute wait. I'm not even joking. I've never seen
that's nice.
ride so low. We would literally just like hop on, ride a ride, get off, go do a couple more character a photo ops. So they did have some roaming characters. Kim Possible and Ron actually were roaming around Frontierland. So there was
That's
quite a
cool.
few like roaming around, which was cool. I did get the chance, which I was really excited about. I was just walking down Main Street coming in for the night. And I wasn't barely paying attention. Kayla's like, do you know who that is? And I was like, "What?" And she was like really dressed up in this like super colorful, pretty dress. And I was like, looked at it, I was like, that's a girl from Even Stevens, who also plays the voice of Kim Possible. And
Oh, that's
we got the
cool.
chance. So I was like, "Hi." I didn't want to bother her. I was like, "I love you, Kim Possible." And she just was like, "Thank you," which is really cool. But she was
Yeah.
doing some like things. And I know Troy Bolton's dad was there, and the blonde girl from Cheetah Girls, one of the Cheetah Girls herself was there. Like you said, it wasn't just the Phineas and Ferb, it wasn't just Dr. Doofenshmirtz. It was actually all three of them. It was Phineas, Ferb, and Dr. Doofenshmirtz were all there as character meet and greets. But it
Yeah.
wasn't like you could stand in line for them. They were just roaming through the parks. Like they brought in nostalgia characters each night, and if you just happen to meet them, great. I know Kim Possible was literally, there was a Phineas and Ferb dance party, and she went over to the Phineas and Ferb dance party and was just dancing with people and taking pictures. And she was just having a blast with
That's
it.
so
And I
cool.
love that. We love that.
I feel like a lot of these guys who have done this for so long, especially with the Disney Channel era, I feel as though they are just fans of Disney. Because like I've followed Dan Povenmire, who is the voice of Doofenshmirtz, and he goes in with a lot of the voice actors, and a lot of people don't know who like Minnie Mouse is or what she looks like, or who Goofy is or who Winnie the Pooh is. So like unless you follow somebody like him, you're not really gonna know who these characters are. So they're just walking through the parks as fans. And some people will be like, "Oh, I know who that is," because you've got your super fans who just love that type of stuff. And they're like, "I know who that is. I'm gonna go take a picture." But really, they're just like roaming the park and just hanging out and having a good time, enjoying the party. And then all of a sudden you spot them and they're like, no way. Like, is that who I think it is? So that I think that's super
Yeah.
cool too,
And that's
that
exactly
like a
what I
lot of
think
them are
they were
just fans
doing.
of Disney.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of the ones that we saw were just like actors that were just walking around saying hi to fans. And how cool is that? How
Yeah.
cool is that?
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. So let's talk a little bit about my favorite topic and everybody's favorite topic, which is merch. Did you get any cool merch for this event?
I did. Probably the most sought after thing. I'm not even kidding you. I think these ears sold out the first thing every single night. Like I said, because of the event is only 3 nights, they only want to buy so much merch, Disney does, because they don't want to get left
Right.
over like if something's not popular. So I got ears, and these ears light up, and they actually do like just the little symbol where it slowly loads the Disney Channel sign, and it makes it look like you're watching Disney Channel, which is super cool. Every
That's
person
awesome.
had these on their head, it
Oh,
seemed
I'm
like,
sure.
because it's an after hours event. You gotta have light up ears. Like, how cool is that? And everyone loved them. But like I said, these things sold out so fast, so fast. People were very
Yeah.
excited about these. So they only had 3 things for merch. They had these ears, they had a pin, which I also got. It showed just a second ago, but I'm gonna show it again. This one is just says Disney Channel, and it has like the little symbol, and then it has the after hours event as well.
That's
So this
cool.
is really cool. And I'm not a huge pin collector person, but I have a board filled with just some of my favorite memories of Disney. Every time
Yeah.
I go on a Disney cruise, I get that ship. Every time the first time my kid went on the Aqua Dunk, which is like the Disney cruise slide, I got him a pin because he was really scared. And so I got him a pin, and I have it. And when I look at that board, it's filled with some of my favorite memories of Disney, and it's so
Yeah.
cool. And so this was one of those things where like, this is one of my favorite nights, and I had so much fun. And so I wanted the pin to add to that. And then the third thing was a jacket, which It ended up being, like, a super cold night, which no one was expecting. It was supposed to be warmer by then, and so the jacket also sold out very quickly, but I think that was primarily because people wanted a jacket because it was freezing cold once that sun went down. But that was it. There was only 3 exclusive items for the merch shop, which if you've gone to any of the Halloween events, you know there's usually a lot more. Like RJ said, there's Christmas ornaments and there's magnets. There's all kinds of stuff. There wasn't for
Yeah,
this one, which also kind of
okay,
makes it cooler because you know you had to be there. You had to be cool, also, which is cool.
right. Yeah. No, for sure. Because those things you can't get, and a lot of them are dated too. So, like, it's dated with 2026 on it, and so, like, if you don't get it, I mean, that's it. It's gone, and
Yep.
there's no way of getting it. And I know that scalpers will try to get it and sell them on eBay, but that's just not the same as being there and being a part of the event as opposed to buying it just to put it on a wall in the background. Like, I really want the Simba sipper or popcorn bucket, but I haven't gotten it yet. Like, it's not me getting it. And so unless they bring it back, I may never have it. But at least I've got the Timon and Pumbaa and the Scar and Ed. Like, those are
Yeah.
cool to me. And those are memories that I have of that. Now, the Mickey popcorn bucket, Carissa did get for me, and that's still cool. But then they had
Yeah.
it at Disney World when I went like a few weeks later. So
You could have got it,
um
which is still the same thing.
yeah, yeah, exactly. All right, so you talked a little bit about rides. There are the wait times. Are all the rides open? What are the wait times like? What is that like with that night?
Yeah, so this event was based in Disneyland, and the only thing I think that wasn't open was Galaxy's Edge.
Okay.
Everything else was open, and I think that's just because Rise of the Resistance would automatically draw a lot of people back there, and it's kind of in the
Yeah,
very, very back of the park, and that one just it takes a while to shut down at the end of the night, so they just kind of excluded that one, which is a bummer a little bit, but everything else
yeah,
that I saw was open. Maybe some of the rides in Fantasyland were closed. I didn't really look, to be honest, because again, it was more of an adult event, but all the big ones, Space Mountain, Big Thunder, on Matterhorn, all of those were open, and we took advantage. We were literally just walking by. We're like, "Oh, it's a 5-minute wait. Let's do it." And then like there was like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. We rode 3 times because why not? We literally walked on, walked
yeah.
off, walked on, walked off, and they didn't care. And it was like that was actually before the event opened. We went back there to do they had Darkwing Duck and they had
Oh,
some of the
that's
like the
cool.
classic DuckTales and all of that. And my friend that I was with, he was like, Darkwing, like I grew up with Darkwing Duck. He's like, I gotta
Yeah,
get that. And so we'd gone back there to do a meet and greet, and we're like, oh, they're like, oh, he'll be out in 10 minutes. And we're like, okay, because he had just gone back for a break and they were switching him out. And we're like, okay, so we just went and rode literally Mickey and Minnie's in 10 minutes. I think we rode it 3 times. And then we came out, we're like, oh, he's there. We got a photo, and then we moved on. And it was fun,
that's
but
cool.
the wait times were phenomenal. I mean, I think
Yeah,
your ticket price is worth it. Even if you guys are late night people and you're willing to stay up late and that's a better vibe for you, your kids are not super young where they have to be because it does go till 1 a.m. and you can
yeah,
technically get out of the parks by 2 if you stay till the very end and take your time. But if it's worth it to you and your kids are a little bit older, even if you're not interested in the characters, the merch, none of it, you could go ride after ride in that 4 hours. You could probably ride each ride in the park probably 3 times, which is very cool.
yeah. I think one of the things, if you are bringing kids, which I think we've both brought kids to after hours events as well, one
Yeah.
of the things that I will say is that you definitely 100% need to uh, make them take a nap. Even if they're a little bit older, make them take a nap, rest during the day. Like Krista said, you can go all day and you can have a blast with your husband or with your wife and enjoy it and enjoy the parks if you're adults and then still stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning. But if you're bringing kids, I don't recommend doing that because at about 10 o'clock was Bella's absolute crash point, and we ended up having to leave early instead of staying till 1 a.m. for the Halloween party because she was just asleep and we could not get her to wake up. And so we were trying to do it where, like, the two of us would go ride a ride and one of us would stay back with her in the stroller, and it just got to the point where we had done just about everything we wanted to do, and we weren't gonna stay till 1 a.m. to torture her sleeping in the stroller, but, like, if you're gonna bring kids, it is a late night event. let them rest the afternoon, let them have a break, and let them go in full of energy. And even still, they might crash. And so you have to be planning for that. As Disney adults, it's a lot easier to go without your kids to events like this if you just want to enjoy it
Who
for
are you
you.
kidding? If you were over 30, you need a nap before you go, okay? You need a nap. Don't sit there and think that you are above it. If you normally go to bed before 10 PM, okay, you need a nap before you go, okay?
I'm in bed like the latest at 10. I have to be in bed by 10 o'clock. And then the rest is just like, okay, I might not fall asleep right away, but I'm in bed by 10 every night. So
Yeah, 100%, yeah. I
yeah.
do feel like this it just personally from my perspective, this was an adult event. I think the Halloween ones are super fun kids events. I think a lot of them are
Yeah.
super fun kids events. I would go my son is a Star Wars loving geek. He would love Star Wars night. I would take him to that. This one, it was nostalgia. It was our childhood. It's what we grew up on. My
Yeah.
kids would not understand half of it. I think keep this one. This would be more of an adult one. I mean, there was people that brought their kids, but I definitely saw them leaving the parks, most of them around 10 PM. So just
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
But for those adults who did plan ahead of time and did take naps, like after 10 PM, it just gets even more fun because all the
Absolutely.
kids are gone and you just get to enjoy it. All right. I did want to ask, were there any sort of I totally drew a blank on it. Um, so I know you had the special photo ops and stuff like that. Do you have to have like a photo pass to be able to do those,
Great
for it
question.
to work?
Yeah.
Or is photo pass included with the after hours event?
It was included, which we really appreciated. Because I
Right.
I was, like, not sure, if you were gonna have to purchase something additional or, like, we don't have Memory Maker out here. If you buy a Fast Pass, you get, the photo downloads for free at Disneyland. Sorry, Fast Pass. If you buy Lightning Lane, my bad. But it was just all included. Any pictures you took throughout the entire night, if you had a wristband, they scanned your wristband. The wristband had, like, a little code that you just entered in the app, and when you did that, you were able to get all of the photos from that evening. So that was really
That's so
cool.
cool.
I was really appreciative that, you pay a little bit of money to get in there, but at least they give you some cool photo keepsakes.
Which I looked up the prices for this event, and hold on, let me get back to my note on that. It says it was about 159 to 169 per person, just depending on the date. So I'm sure that yours was probably on the 159 range.
It
I
was.
don't I don't feel like because what's a daily park ticket at Disneyland? Like it's probably more than that, right?
Actually, a daily park ticket you can get anywhere in the range of about 150. Not for a park hopper, but for just like a regular 1 day ticket, you can get it for about 150. So it's about the price of a 1 day ticket to Disney. And to me, like I said, if you've been to Disneyland or you haven't been in a while, or you're just going to ride rides, like I would do this rather than go. And you've got a lot less kids, a lot less people running around, a lot less crowds. It's nighttime, so it was cold. It wasn't actually hot at all. We just had a blast just going around. Like I said, just even if you walk around and vibe with everyone else and sing the songs and just chill and ride as many rides as you can, to me, it is worth it more to buy that than a park ticket.
Well, and that's what I'm trying to hint at is like if you are going and you aren't even a Disney Channel fan, having paying 159 for one night and getting to ride every ride at Disneyland without any wait times except for maybe Rise of the Resistance and some of the like maybe the teacup ride or the Dumbo ride.
Oh, no,
I mean,
teacups were open
for
because we actually did
okay.
that for nostalgia. We're like, "Why not?" And then, actually, funny story, my husband and my best friend's husband got on it, and they were like, "We never ride this thing. Like, this thing can't spin that fast." And so, like, again, we're living our best lives as adults, pretending to be children for the night, and they went as fast as they possibly could. They had no idea how fast that thing was moving. One of their wands actually flew out of the teacup and they couldn't even find it. It like went because they were going so fast. But like that was it. That was the night.
Yeah.
It was about nostalgia. It was laughing. It was being kids again. It was having that adult time in Disney. And we had an absolute blast.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, you could have that and have that night where you get to experience all the rides in the full Disneyland experience for the same price as a park ticket, but instead of riding Mickey's Runaway Railway one time and then having to wait another hour to ride it again, you could walk on it 3 times. So I think these after hours events are worth considering. If you're going for a day to Disneyland and one of these after hours events are going on, consider not buying a park ticket for that day. Resting, doing some of the like downtown Disney stuff
Mhm.
or some of the stuff at your hotel or around the Disney area, and then going back and resting for a little bit and then going and getting a full park experience for the same price, but getting to do double the amount of stuff. So even if you're not a Disney Channel fan, it's worth it to do these after hours events
For sure.
100%.
Yep.
And then also keep that in mind as you're planning. If look up to make sure that there's after events are not going. And if they are, plan for a California Adventure Day on that day where the park closes
I have a
less
hot take
early,
on
right?
that. I have a hot
Okay.
take. If you have younger kids and there's an after hours event, go to that park it's gonna close early. It'll close so that one closed at 8. That's not that early,
Yeah,
right? Disney usually closes
right.
around 11 to 12 o'clock at night. It closes at 8. Let's be honest, you're already wanting to get your kids in bed by 8. You finish your day. If you do that park, the wait times are about half because everyone does exactly that. Everyone's like, "Well, I
Right.
don't wanna leave early. I'll go to the other park this day." You can walk on. I mean, when me and my husband went that morning, we did Disneyland, same thing, and we just there was the wait times, I mean, there's still wait times, right? But I would say every wait time was below 30 minutes
Yeah,
because there just wasn't as many people in that park that day. So I always tell my
right.
guests that as a travel advisor, that is something that I'm like, "Hey, if you're okay with it, if you're okay with leaving just a few hours early, honestly, when your kids already wanna get in bed, schedule yourself for that park that day because you're probably gonna have way less crowds." If you're not planning, if
Yeah.
you're like, "No, I can't make it past 8 PM. I am not a late night person." I get it. I'm with you most of the weeks. So yeah, definitely schedule yourself to go in the park that morning.
Yeah, I get that, and I think a park hopper option would be a better option for that, so you can park
Yeah,
hop to the other one after that closes. The other thing too is the reason why I always say that is because you might miss out on, like, a nighttime fireworks show if that's important to you and
that's
this is your
true.
once in a lifetime trip. Like, you're gonna miss out on that if you go to that park that day because they're not gonna have it that night because
That's
it's
true.
gonna be geared towards the party. So just keep those things in mind. I definitely agree. Wait times are gonna be way lower for that park. So either one, do a park hopper option and go all day and then jump over to California Adventure after that one closes, which Disneyland and California Adventure are like right next to each other. So keep that in mind. It's gonna be crowded at California Adventure that evening.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but but yeah, it's different at Disney World too because you've got 3 other parks that you can go to, and
Yeah.
so there's a lot more options available. Just don't go to Epcot because Epcot is always just crazy every night. It's
Again,
like
those
the
Florida
later it gets.
locals, they're like, "Oh, let's go there for dinner." You're like,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, when I'm there, even if I just arrived, I go to Epcot straight away and go get dinner. Like, it's
Yeah.
such a good park for, like, different food options and stuff. Well, I know we could talk about this for probably another hour, but we typically try to go for an hour. So, are there any last minute tips or tricks that you have before we end out this episode? Anything that you wanna share or just it was awesome, definitely do it.
Yeah, no, same. It was just like it's they're a lot of fun. I do think that Disney is for all ages, right? And I think a lot of people don't think that. Like, why would I go without my kids? Let me tell you, we had a blast. And we brought our best friends along, and we just had some good old adult fun, and that's okay. You don't always have to bring your kids. You know, if you remember what it was like to go without your kids and without a stroller, I will say I missed my stroller, but
Yeah,
it
I
is.
know.
It's fun. Don't be afraid. Or if you wanna take your kids, I think that these are fantastic events. If you've been to Disney before and you just wanna mix it up, do something different. You've been on the rides, you've been there, you've met characters, your kids just wanna do something different. My kids love after hours events, and I definitely will do more. So just consider it. Consider replacing one of your park day tickets with an after hours event. It's worth it.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I think that I always have a good time, and I've only been to one, so I wanna do more of them. I just never go when there's an after hours event because I always end up going, like, over the summer or the busy seasons, and so there's
Yep.
never an after hours event going on during those times, but that's okay. I was able to enjoy one of them at least. Um All right, I think that's gonna be it. I know we could cover a lot more stuff, like there's the food, like the Agent P churro and some of the other,
Oh.
cool food options and snacks,
Okay,
but
quick, I had a really good, if you know, Disney makes, like, giant Pop-Tarts, they're called hand pies, and they had, like, a blueberry-filled one, that was from Disney Channel night, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of
So
fun
there
stuff.
there's always gonna be, yeah, a ton of cool things and awesome things, but I definitely appreciate you coming back again and talking to us a little bit about, Disney Channel night and just your experience with that, and so they usually don't do them every year, but every other year, as of right now, they may
Yeah,
change that in the future, but, as of right now, they've only done it, every other year, and so that's something to look forward to, not for 2027, but 2028,
for sure.
if you are thinking about going, and I know you'll probably forget all of this information, but if nothing else, Disney after hours events are always worth it, in my opinion, and they're worth the price of admission. Just don't buy a park ticket that day if this is not a normal thing for you. If you are an annual pass holder at Disney World, you get a discount off of those after hours events as well. Thanks again for joining us. And if you want to book a Disneyland trip through Carissa, you can definitely find out her travel page on our website as well as her Instagram account. And you can feel free to reach out to her. That's on our website, carouselpod.com, where you'll find all of our episodes and all the different travel agents we've had on the show and how you can book through them. So definitely go check that out. Chris is not even a guest anymore. It's just like a regular occurrence to have her on. So I
Happy to be
definitely,
here.
yeah, we'll call you a friend of the show because you're not a guest any longer. But yeah, definitely thank you so much for joining with us. And now we are not going to switch to the same pre recorded message we played last week.